The station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
A community is mourning the death of a father after he had been declared missing. How he is being remembered as a community calls for answers. Plus, anti-Semitic attacks in Montgomery County continue as a middle school is marked with hateful messages. How the county is fighting back. And Mayor Bowser is discussing ways to make the district safer after residents seek justice for the death of 13-year-old Karan Blake. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us for DC News Now at 10. I'm Michaela Newton. We're seeing winter weather advisories all across the DMV this weekend. Our meteorologist Scott Sumner has a look at what we can expect. What's going on, Scott?
All right, Michaela, we'll talk about those winter weather advisories. Yes, they're primarily west of I-81, our counties in the far western area, which typically see winter weather more so than the rest of the viewing area, which does include the Beltway and the I-95 corridor from Baltimore down towards D.C. Let's take a look at the graphic, and you'll see, though, we do have, again, the potential for some light snow, and I mean light snow, freezing rain, and some icy conditions on the roads here as we go throughout the next 24 to 36 hours. And that's, again, primarily in those counties that are shaded in the color purple at higher elevations, especially above 2,000 feet. So in D.C., if you're living here, don't have to worry about it too much. We'll have to see some rain that's going to build in across the region. Right now, where are those rain showers? They're down towards the south in portions of, say, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, moving into South Carolina. And then you do note a little bit of that blue, which is the snow, and a little purple and pink, which is that freezing rain and sleet. That, again, is off to the west. All of this is moving in our direction, and I'll tell you what the timing of this moisture is going to be like coming in for your Sunday night, and potentially into the new week.
All right, Scott, thanks so much. Developing now, family and friends are mourning the loss of Jose Guerrero, a 20-year-old father from Virginia who disappeared last month. And it's a story we've been following since his family first reported him missing. Now, on Thursday, police arrested two teenagers in connection with Jose's death. They say he was stabbed during a drug deal in Prince William County. Now, Jose was a father to a 10-month-old baby, and a vigil was held last night. Our news team heard from several people that Jose was quiet, humble, respectful, and loving. The family had been searching for him for weeks, holding candlelight vigils like this one and asking for help. Well, last night, the family chose to focus on Jose's life instead of his death and shared stories about the time that they were able to spend with him.
He was the best friend I ever had. Most sweetest person. He always counted on me. I counted on him. He was always there for me.
He told me that he was going to be the best father ever. You know, and that was the last time I really saw him and talked to him.
And the family is saying they'll be following the case and the charges of those two teenage suspects. Well, the family of a teacher from D.C. who died in the custody of the LAPD is now suing the city of Los Angeles for $50 million. The lawsuit alleges that 31-year-old Keenan Anderson died due to unlawful assault and battery. Now, Anderson was a 10th grade English teacher at Digital Pioneers Academy in Southeast. He died earlier this month after police in Los Angeles stopped him after a car crash. Body camera footage shows officers subduing and tasing Anderson. The lawsuit says he was tased at least 6 times. And police say Anderson was acting erratic, and the medical examiners found cocaine and marijuana in his system. During a news conference, though, civil rights attorney Ben Crump said Anderson died at the hands of LAPD.
He would end up dead at the end of the encounter at the hands of the Los Angeles Police Department. Then Keenan Anderson was correct. They George Floyd him.
We hope to evoke change so that moving forward, my son doesn't have to live his life in fear of one day what happened to his dad may one day happen to him.
The $50 million is broken into 2 amounts, $15 million for Anderson's estate and $35 million for his 5-year-old son. Well, Montgomery County students are dealing with yet another act of anti-Semitic vandalism, but this time they're seeing it in a school classroom at Silver Creek Middle School. And now parents are angry. Our reporter Yamari Sase has the details.
This has to stop, and I'm angry. Frustration growing amongst parents of students at Silver Creek Middle School, especially those who are part of the Jewish community.
That creates a climate of fear. No child should ever have to be afraid of going into their school that they're going to see a symbol of hate.
In a letter to families, the principal says a swastika drawing was found on a desk in one of their classrooms and it was removed quickly. She wrote, "As a no place for hate school, we find this behavior to be unacceptable and against the core values we embrace at Silver Creek."
It's important that the school leadership is proactive and telling people early and taking it seriously, and clearly she is. But this is the kind of hate that nobody should tolerate.
This is one of many acts of anti-Semitism Montgomery County has seen over the last year. In December, anti-Semitic graffiti was found at Walt Whitman High School.
This now feels like a pattern that is significant and systemic. It feels as if there is now an acceptance in the population of hate speech and anti-Semitism, that it is okay to do, maybe even cool, maybe even will get someone attention. That's very dangerous.
Joel Rubin is also the vice mayor in Chevy Chase. He's calling on leaders across the county and the community to not only speak out, but to learn about the history behind it.
Here on the town council, we're grappling with it. What are actionable items to take to really ensure that there's strong education, that people understand that this is not to be tolerated, and that we turn back this tide of hate, this hate that we've seen in our social media, in our politics, throughout our society now, the last half dozen years in particular.
And he's hoping he can send a message by standing up and speaking out.
As my middle daughter said yesterday, another incident, another swastika. It's almost a sense that this is just so common and pervasive, and she has to deal with it. I think that the critical thing to remember is that we never should accept hate. We should always stand up aggressively against it, and we should not have fear.
Reporting in Montgomery County, I'm Yamari Sase, DC News Now.
And in response to this incident, the Montgomery County Public School Superintendent made an official statement condemning the vandalism, saying, quote, "As a community, we must speak loudly and together against anti-Semitism and all acts of hate and racism. Our differences make us stronger and better and make our community an exciting place to live. There is no room for hate." And we have an update out of Newport News, Virginia today, where for the first time since a 6-year-old boy was accused of shooting his teacher, that child's family is speaking out. In a statement, they said they're praying for the teacher's recovery. And the letter also says their son has, quote, "an acute disability" and was under a care plan where his mom or dad went to class with him each day. However, they were not at school the day of the shooting. They say they will regret that for the rest of their lives. Now, they also say when it comes to guns, they say in part, quote, "Our family has been committed to responsible gun ownership and keeping firearms out of the reach of children." And new tonight is perhaps the biggest concern around D.C. right now is how to make the city safer. 13-year-old Karan Blake is among the 13 people killed in the district this year. That's 5 more compared to the same time last year. But the number of assaults with a dangerous weapon has risen 11% during the same period, while sexual assaults have gone up a staggering 200%. Mayor Muriel Bowser led a discussion this morning on violent crime with advisory neighborhood commissioners. They and other community leaders talked about solutions. But Bowser stressed there is an impression that the city is just as violent as when it used to be the murder capital of the nation.
And that is not us right now. But how I feel when I go across the city and people are asking me about robberies, gunshots, and homicides, randomness, juveniles being harmed, I feel almost a greater anxiety than I did at that time.
And Police Chief Robert Conti pointed out the number of violent crimes in the district this year is down 6% compared to last year. And today is the 1-year anniversary of the shooting at Magruder High School in Montgomery County that left 1 student injured and placed the school in lockdown. Then 17-year-old Stephen Austin Jr. brought a ghost gun to school where he critically shot and injured a fellow student, DeAndre Thomas, in the bathroom. Now, Austin pled guilty to all charges, being sentenced to 40 years, with all but 18 of those years being suspended. Montgomery County Police say that this was the first school shooting in the county's history. And it's not just here in the DMV. Gun violence is on the rise across the country. And the ATF, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, has a new leader trying to reverse that trend. Our Hannah Brandt sat down an exclusive one-on-one with the ATF's new leader, who says his new role is about preventing crime and saving lives.
If it booms, burns, or bangs, it's the business of the ATF.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me.
The ATF and the thousands of agents it employs are now under the control of Steve Dettelbach.
Everything we do at ATF begins and ends with public safety.
Dettelbach is the first director of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives to be officially confirmed in 7 years. And with deadly gun violence on the rise, he has a lot of work to do.
How do you prevent the gun violence that's killing so many people?
Well, there's not a one size fits all or one answer for that. It's a series of things.
Since Director Dettelbach started in July, the ATF has taken major steps to try to prevent crime, including new restrictions on untraceable ghost guns and stabilizer braces, an accessory they say can make handguns more dangerous.
We're trying to focus on both punishing people who have these unlawful guns and interrupting the flow of these illegal guns, these illegal items, into our communities.
But his moves are prompting pushback. Republican lawmakers like Congressman Bob Good plan to fight the new ATF regulations.
The ATF is largely contributing to restrictions against the rights of law-abiding citizens. I don't see what they're doing that's positive, that's making the country safer.
Dettelbach tells me he's not interested in arguing over gun control politics. Instead, he's aiming to keep the focus on saving lives.
It's not ATF's job to play politics on any side.
ATF is in the business of stopping crime and protecting public safety. That's what we've always done. That's what we're going to continue to do.
In Brunswick, Georgia, I'm Hannah Brandt.